And their insistence that I would have been locked up on the spot if I hadn't just up and quit kind of tells me that this must have been my family that started the emailing and telling other people to message the therapist and everything, because my family would use the mental hospital as a punishment in Florida. In Florida, you could have somebody Baker acted for pretty much nothing. You could call up and say, "Hey, my husband's being an asshole, and we need help, and we need him out here for 3 days." And they'll come and they'll lock him up, they'll put him in handcuffs, put him in a mental hospital, drug him up for 3 days, let him go. That's all you got to do. Call the police. Tell them you want this person Baker acted. It's not that easy in California. And they found out that it wasn't that easy in California, and they got mad. It shouldn't be that easy. It shouldn't be used to punish the mentally unstable, because when you use a hospital as a punishment, guess what? The crazy person learns to be afraid of the place that's supposed to help them, because it's always someplace that's been used as a punishment. It's not supposed to be a punishment, and they don't use it as that in California. If they did, we wouldn't have crazy homeless people all over the road, remember? You should have known that before you even tried to overrule the system yourself. So what actually happened when you sent all of these emails thinking you went to bed happy that night thinking we got her, she'll spend 3 days in a mental hospital and we'll laugh because we forced her in there, and it's so funny to make somebody go into a mental prison. And then when it didn't happen and you got mad, because what they actually did was they sat down with me and they had a conversation with me about the emails, and they had a conversation with me about where we could go in the future to stop this kind of behavior, to stop them from emailing, to stop me from feeling the way that I've been feeling. And then I went home that day and I made a video showing you a printout of one of the emails that they printed for me to prove that yes, they actually received them, and yes, they actually gave me one of them. And so you spent the next 3 months desperately trying to have them lock me up. The fact that they want so badly to control my mental health. They wanted me locked up. They want to control my medication. They want to control my symptoms. They want to control my therapy. They want to control everything about my mental health so that they can deny that it exists. Because if they're in control of it, they're in control of whether I have them or not. It never should have been a situation that was around. It never should have existed. None of you ever should have felt like you had the right to try to have another person put into a mental hospital just because you were making them feel suicidal by telling them to kill themselves every single day for 2 years and profiting off of it. I think it's the weed that's stopping me from getting sicker than I am. This is going on for over a week now. It should either escalate or start backing down. But it stayed pretty much the same. I mean, I've got a cough now, and it's a bad cough. But it's also controllable in a way I did not think it would be with COVID. Now, probably it's going to get worse, but the reason I think it's staying controllable is because I'm still smoking weed. And that's going to sound absolutely insane to a lot of you. You're going to say she's just making excuses to smoke weed. But I'm serious. Before I caught COVID, I had read some studies, some papers that said that they tested the effects of marijuana on COVID and found that it actually helps suppress the virus somehow. How, I don't know. But I've believed since I read that my smoking it had caused me to not catch COVID or to fight it off faster than I was aware that I had it, up until the variant that I have now, which is shit, and I hate it. But I think that it would be a lot worse if I wasn't still smoking weed. So, anybody out there that gets COVID, my advice to you is to try some marijuana. Anybody that has any problems at all, if you're a little stressed, try some marijuana. Can't sleep? Try some marijuana. Have a shitty family? Try some marijuana. It helps for so many different things. Oh, you haven't coughed once. Oh, I'm sorry. You want to hear my cough? It's pretty sexy.